Everybody, welcome to I Am Devoted Tech. Today I'm here with Raymond Hawks. He's actually an Emmy Award-winning news anchor for CBS 6. Raymond, good to see you, man. I'm glad we actually finally get to do this interview. And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about your time here at CBS 6. I know you're actually about to leave now.
Yeah.
But talk to me about just how you started here and just your whole career here.
All right, so 13 years ago, November 8th, 2005, just saw an description in the newspaper one day about getting here as a production assistant, so I took a chance. I was still a junior at Virginia Union at the time.
Shout out Virginia Union too. Both of us went there.
Proud Panther.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took a shot.
Okay.
And when walking through that door 13 years ago, just never knew that all of my dreams would come true right here at this place. Did a lot of behind the scenes when I first started doing production. For about a year, I did audio for all of our newscasts. So that's where I started doing audio. And then I moved up to the assignment desk, which is a big part of our newsroom, and then eventually became a reporter for us.
Wow. And can you talk to me a little bit about just the steps that it took to actually become a reporter? Because like you said, you started off as a production assistant, and I just want you to talk to our audience about doing your best and being your best at every position you're at. Because obviously, I'm sure you didn't want to be a production assistant your whole time here.
Yeah.
But while you were there, you had to do your best in order to get recognized and move up. So just talk a little bit about that.
Well, definitely the production assistant is really the foot in the door.
Okay.
So once I got in here, it was like, it's time. I'm hungry.
Yes.
I want to be a reporter, so now it's time to do whatever I got to do. I constantly shadowed every reporter that I could. If I had a day off, I was with the reporters out in the field, learning their craft, so that way I could do it. And then I would take their stuff and then make my own, eventually hoping somebody would see it.
Yeah.
And then I guess 2005, so 2007 is when one of my bosses was like, "Hey, I've been seeing you work hard. I've been seeing you doing things. You want to try it?"
Wow.
I'm going to try one airport.
And you took advantage of it.
The rest has been history. So
that's great. Now, the actual day in, day out work of being a news reporter, what is that like? Can you just kind of take me through that?
It's a grind. So it depends on, it's 3 different shifts. We have overnight shifts that are 3 a.m. to noon. We had the day side shift, 9:30 to 6:30. And then the night side shift is where I came in a lot. So 2:30 to midnight every day. And the day starts pretty much the same. Because I have 2 positions. So as the assignment desk, my first job when I get here at 2:30 is to run the editorial meeting.
Okay.
And that's taking everything that's going on in Richmond, story ideas that we've got, or something we have branded here called Problem Solvers, where we listen to the voicemails and hear people's problems. And we take all of that, we go into the editorial meeting, we discuss it, and we see what we like. And then from there, it's a quick grind.
Yeah.
Because that meeting's going to be over at 3:30. So when that meeting's over, reporters or myself, we pretty much have from 3:30 until 5 o'clock to talk to government officials to try to get whatever we need confirmed first before we actually go out and shoot the story. So, it's tough to do a story if people aren't cooperating with you. So, it's a grind because you just have to know who to call. And sometimes 11 o'clock comes quick.
Yes.
So
what would you say is the hardest part of actually being a news reporter?
I think the hardest part is you have to really know your audience. We have something called the demos in households. So it's trying to hit at a rating point to make sure that we're drawing people's attention to the newscast. So I think it's tough because you just need to know who you're serving, but at the same time, we have a responsibility to serve everybody. So we want to make sure that we're not missing out on the demographic, and we're making sure that we're telling Richmond's story.
That's good.
And it's a tough thing. It is a very tough thing. Sometimes, I'm also the president of Richmond Association of Black Journalists, so I have a duty to make sure that if we are covering one community, we need to make sure that we're covering the other community.
Exactly.
And it's tough because in the day we live in, it's not that. And I would say it's not that African Americans don't matter, but it is sometimes a tougher sell to tell those stories. But we did it.
And I'm glad that we had somebody like you that is knowledgeable about that and wanting to, say, tell the story on both sides. For like, say, a high school or college student that says, "Hey, I want to become a news reporter one day," what advice would you give them?
Because the industry has changed so much, I think high school and college students have more resources than
ever before.
Yeah, because it's funny, I can't believe I'm saying this, but when I started this business, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no YouTube. So I've watched this industry change from tape to tape to now everything's digital. So I would say you don't have to wait now. Most people think that I have to wait until I work at a TV station to become a reporter. You don't. You have YouTube channels.
You can start on your own.
Yeah, you have your show here. You can do things on your own now to get you out there.
And that'll give you experience, and then you can,
and that's the first thing I tell everybody when I go speak to kids. It's like, why wait? I waited so long to get my start, but now you don't have to. You can be a reporter on YouTube, and some days YouTube is more hot than actual news. I mean, that's a new thing that we are dealing with, not only here but in the industry altogether. It's just you have two different kind of people. You have people that want to watch your news every day, and then you have some people that get their news from Facebook.
Yes.
So the digital side now is something brand new that we're exploring into a new world.
That's good. That's really good. Now, since we're on the channel, I Am Devoted, can you just talk to me a little bit about what devotion means to you and some of the things that you're devoted to?
Devotion to me, I'll go back to what I said to this newsroom time after time. For me, it's about community. You can't report on a community and not be involved in the community. So I think I'm more not devoted to the news side, I'm devoted to the community side. And the big thing for me is that when I was 10, there was a guy named Michael Ford. He was a reporter actually here at this station, and I met him. And that was the moment that I knew I fell in love with TV. I wanted to be just like him.
Yes.
So that's why the community, that's why I'm devoted every day when I walk in here. And I said it many times in this newsroom. It's not about me.
Yes.
I can care less about my life now, but it's about the kids. So we have to be making sure that we're telling stories and we're representing Richmond. We're representing ourselves in a positive spotlight that the kids will look back at us and say, hey, I want to do something. No disrespect to, LeBron and Stephon Curry, but it's like there's so much more than being an athlete. There's so much more than being a rapper. And I think nowadays the kids need us more than ever. So that's the most important thing to me. So I think every day I am devoted to that. And if I'm not devoted just to the community part, it's the faith-based side of me. Literally, I just told our newsroom just 2 days ago when I was getting ready to leave that my theme has always been God's got it. And I feel that every step of my way here, it's been one of those things that God's got it. God had me the entire time and just really laid out my footsteps for me. So that's what I'm really doing.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. What will you miss most about working here?
I would say the community side, but I know that's not going to stop. That's just in me. I'm all about service to others. I think what I would miss here pretty much is my coworkers.
Yes. Because I know you spent probably so much time with them.
Yeah, 13 years here. I mean, this place is a family, and I don't miss that. And our weather dog, Walter.
Oh, Walter.
Walter is my buddy right there, so I love him. I miss him.
That's good. That's good. Any last words you would just like to give our audience just about whether it's news reporting or being devoted to anything? Just any last words you'd like to give our audience?
I think the last thing I would say is just never let someone tell you that you can't do it. When
That's
people,
good. That's good.
One of my friends, and actually my mentor, he once said to me, he said that if you let someone tell you no, then you're going to set yourself up for the rest of your life to allow people to tell you no.
Wow.
So I would just say, just go do it. Keep doing it. If people tell you can't do it, just do it. It's better to just do it and ask for forgiveness later.
Yes. And even with me starting this YouTube channel, I kind of agree with that because it's like a lot of people could say, "Oh, you should have all of this equipment before you start," or you know, what I'm saying you're not good at public speaking or anything like that. But if you never start, then how can you get better? You know what I'm saying? Or and you don't have a chance to succeed if you don't start.
And I always tell people the stuff will come later.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have, and just talking about how this industry changed, like if you just have an iPhone in your hand,
True,
you're a reporter now.
true.
Like, I mean, we deal with that constantly when people are on breaking news scenes and they send us pictures. They're a reporter now because sometimes that's the first time that we know that something's happening in the community. So I think that's probably why I chose this business. We are, people don't think about it, but we are the rough draft of history.
Yes.
Once we report it, it's there. It goes down to the history.
I didn't even look at it like that, but that is very true.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one reason why. And every day is a different day. But I'm gonna bring this in here for a second. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is the Emmy. This is one of my Emmys here. So,
and I gotta shake your hand on that. Congratulations, too,
Appreciate
man. That's a huge accomplishment.
and these are things that when you think no one's watching, and I mean, this is voted on by your peers. So this year, having my peers say that I'm the best in the business, like that felt good.
That means a lot.
And it meant a lot because, not to throw a bad wrench in here, but I remember one of my teachers when I was in college told me that I wouldn't make it in the business.
Wow.
And I would never succeed in here. And now I got one of these, I'm just kind of laughing at her a little bit.
Exactly.
Now, like,
and you proving somebody wrong, and more importantly, like you prove it to yourself that regardless of what other people say, you know what you can do and you know what you can accomplish. So man, I think it's great, and I'm just glad to see somebody like you in our community in Richmond. You spent so much of your life and time here just helping out the community. I know that won't stop after you leave here, but still, man, I just really commend you.
I appreciate it.